call this meeting of New Iberia City Council to order. We have the prayer and the pledge led by Councilwoman Peggy Durack.
Good evening, everybody. Let's bow our head in prayers. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, that we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Natalie Brogan.
Present.
Councilmember Peggy Durack.
Present.
Councilmember Robert Swear.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember David Merrill. Councilmember Raymond Lewis.
Present.
And Councilmember Calvin Bagno. Mayor Courier before.
Thank you. The first agenda item is public comment. I don't think that we have anyone. Oh, we do? Okay. At this time, you have an opportunity, the audience does, to address the council. You have 3 minutes, and I would ask everyone to please put their phones on silence. The first person to address the council is Mr. Michael Bell, and it's concerning agenda item 5C, the Armanco Canal Drainage Project.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thanks for having me here,
Hi, Mr.
for allowing
Bell.
me to be here. Yeah, I just hope it's something that's long overdue, and thank you, Ms. Durack, for the effort. I just hope that we choose wisely, not just for the lowest bidder, but for the best contractor, because that's important. Sometimes the lowest bidder is not always the best. And at the same time, I hope in the future that we look at the land and we look at the locations before we allow houses and trailers to be built. Sometimes, you can't build a home on sand, and a lot of times that's we fail to do. So we allow things like that to happen sometimes, and this is a fine example. That area has always been a flood area. I grew up in that area, and we always had a problem in there because it was once a swamp area. And I hope in the near future that we make sure the engineers, those things are checked, because it costs not only the city or the parish, but it costs the poor people that live there a whole lot of money, because flood insurance is terribly high, and sometimes they find out too late. And so I hope that we can consider those things and really, really think about it before we allow things like that to happen again. This is something that's been lingering on for a long time, and it's finally getting to a head. And like I said, Mr. Rack, you were definitely on the job, and I accommodate you for that. It's something that's really overdue. But I just hope in the future that we consider what I'm saying, because like I said, it's a waste of taxpayers' money if you build a house in swampland, and we know we have improper drainage. That's the first thing I would look at if I'm a builder. If the foundation is not solid, I'm gonna make sure it's solid, and I'm gonna make sure I have proper drainage. And that's what we need to do, and I thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. We appreciate you being here. The next agenda item is agenda item 2, acceptance of the minutes of the October 14th, 2014 special meeting as published on Thursday, October 30th, 2014.
Motion with
Motion.
any necessary correction.
I'm sorry?
Motion with any necessary correction.
Oh, okay. A motion by Mr. Lewis. Second by Ms. Rovan. Is there any discussion? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. The next agenda item is 2B. It's acceptance of the minutes of the October 21st, 2014 meeting as published on Friday, October 31st, 2014. Motion by Mr. Doyle. Second by Ms. Durack. Any discussion? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. The next agenda item is agenda item 3, and we have the pleasure of having Mr. Richard Guidry here, representing St. Francis Diner, and he wants to give us a report on the progress of the diner. Thank you for being
Ms.
here.
Mayor, thank you. City Council, thank you very much. I've been in St. Francis Diner for 14 years. When I started working there, it was about 40,000 meals, it was estimated. And over the years, it's increased to 50. Then between 2010 and 2011, it went to 60,000 meals. And the conditions of our clients are deteriorating. I can see we're getting more men. Well, we didn't get too many men. Now we're getting a lot of men coming to eat. And the projected number from January through December for this year is going to be close to 70,000 meals. I just can't. I kept looking at it, and it kind of stayed in my mind. So I said, what I think is necessary, what we can do, I don't know. I would like to form a task force with y'all participating in it, and study why they can't move, why that poverty. You have multi-generational poverty back there, and they just kind of, there's no movement. You see the same faces every time, every day, every time I go there, it's the same face. So I started thinking about this, and I said, well, a task force, not to get together and to try to look into their face and see what they want. The first thing to do, obviously, is talk to them about education. They need to be educated. You know, those young men I know, they dropped out of school. If you drop out of school, 70% of those guys will end up with the criminal system because they can't get a job. And I think Southern Mutual, the nuns, you can get your GED. It's at the base. So I'm gonna start getting some return on this comment. I have a survey that we're gonna try to get them to fill out over a period of time and see what kind of feedback we get. And I'm gonna talk to them whenever we have a big meeting. I started to plan this, and I realized my surgery on my right knee was in February. Well, it just up till the first week of December, so I probably won't get back to y'all until probably the middle of January. But it's something y'all to think about. And the misery index is, like I said, is high. But then you add the criminal element, and there's hell for a lot of them. And there's elder abuse. There's elder abuse. I can't put my finger on it, but I know it's there. I know it's there. And the district attorney's office, I'm going to tell there's a lady over there that takes care of it. I forget her name, but you see, I'm sure they're so afraid of retribution. They'll never, because they've told them, you know, we'll mess you up. And so it's become a really bad situation. We started, I forget how much we were collecting a year. Total donations for last fiscal year, $149,000. All donations from Iberia, United Way, and all the donations. It's awesome. The only thing, our expenses went $158,000. So we're approximately 9,000 over the limit for the donations. So we're in the red. So Juanita called me and said, well, yeah, but I forgot to put in this check. For what? It's $9,000. So she had gotten $9,000, and we get this money from a trust. People, they come and they give us this money. So we never know when it's coming. You know, it's on a cycle. But we got $9,000. So we're back even. The financials, they go up and down, but I'm truly blessed. I think that every time we hit a slope, Americans say, we come up. They got some money that comes up, and we make it go another time. But I'm really talking about these people. Y'all, think about it. If there's some kind of way, you know, you got education, transportation, and elder abuse. So I don't know where they're buying their food. But not everybody has cars over there. So it's gonna take, nobody's ever delved into that kind of what's going on there, but. So, education is important. Transportation, we do the best we can, and then elder abuse. Any questions?
Mr. Doyle?
Mr. Richard, do you find certain times of the year you're more busier than other times, or it's pretty consistent throughout the year?
It's pretty consistent, yeah.
Pretty consistent?
Yeah.
So, right now, you're looking like, it's costing you about $2 a meal,
Yeah,
about.
$2.50 with, yeah, that's what we use as our
About
mark.
$2.50
a meal, yeah.
And so, if 1 month your donations are less, do you have less meals, or y'all stay pretty much the same?
No, we serve the same meal.
No matter
you know,
what.
No matter what. And, we have,
Do y'all accept any food as donations? Because I think
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the public doesn't aware of what they can do for the, it's not always just money, y'all can accept food.
yeah, we receive canned goods, we have a Facebook, and we put, we needed some rice. Bam, we got like 200 or 300 pounds of rice they delivered to us, so, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put a website, St. Francis Diner, but that's in the works right now.
Because I think, with our council meetings, along with the parish being on TV, maybe it's an outlet where maybe we can help you for donations in such a manner as that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Like I said, our average, operational cost per month is $13,228. I just, people don't know, and you tell them, that's, wait a minute, come back, how much did that cost?
Yeah,
We have the building, with insurance and all this stuff,
but all the labor is donated,
We have four employees.
4 employees.
Those 4 employees are the core. You can go there every day, every morning, you get there at 10 o'clock, it's all cooked, ready to go. We have Miss, our new kitchen employee, Ms. Regina, she is awesome. Mr. Nolan, Luberta, they go get it. And then we get some community workers. And sometimes they come there and they don't feel like working.
Yeah.
They kind of mosey around, but Miss Regina, come and do your work.
Oh.
And Juanita, to me, is she's so powerful. And sometimes you get those guys that don't really, they want to use language, they want to get sassy. No, she will not take any. She'll kick him out in a minute.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very proud of where we were until where we are now. It's awesome responsibility.
Well, I appreciate everything y'all do for sure.
I demand complete accountability. Everything. It has to be. Let's see.
Mr. Richard,
Yeah.
I really appreciate everything y'all doing in that area. I really do. Because it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes the whole city to keep
Yeah,
that diner
you're right.
moving. I appreciate you outlining the elderly abuse. Because when I was walking, I can't walk like I used to, going house to house, I reported a lot of it to the sheriff, and they did things about it too. A lot of these senior citizens are in their home.
Yeah.
They're afraid. It's more like the grandchildren taking over, or
Yeah. Yeah.
they get in the house with them and they push them in the corner and too scared, too afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
And they take them and they like a prisoner in their
Yeah,
own
yeah,
homes.
absolutely.
Because I had one was 88 years old. She died. We had our house completely fixed. Completely. I mean, even put the stove, refrigerator, and the man threw in the washer and dryer. And the young one got in and put that old lady in a corner with all her baggage in one room, and him and his family just completely took over. That was sad to see, but I reported it to the sheriff.
Yeah.
We got a lot of this going on, but the sheriff help out. If you know of any elderly being abused in any kind of way, you need to call the sheriff department, because they got an elderly abuse department that would
Yeah.
address it, and they would address it.
Yeah.
I mean, on the dot. Even if you see an elderly person living in a home that's not fit, they have took some of them, placed them in the Center Street school day apartment or in other place, put them in better homes. I got to give them that much, because I've called them repeatedly. But I'm saying to the community and to the neighbors, you ought to know what's going on in your neighborhood.
And you need to report them. I'm gonna get some cards.
Please.
You don't even have to give your
Give
name.
your name,
Just get the card and call.
give the card and call.
And,
And I appreciate you about the education and everything else.
Yeah.
Anything I could do to help, let me know. I haven't been at my best of health, but I think I
Yeah.
can do what I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Guidry, I'm glad you came, and you are making the public aware. Ironically, me and Juanita Lewis, Juanita,
She's
and,
here.
oh, come on here.
we-
I didn't know she was here.
we grew up together, and we had a death of one of our neighbors. We laid to rest on Saturday, and I just spoke of what Ms. Chirac was saying. It's the old African proverb, "It's going to take a village," and that it has. We appreciate the work that y'all do. I know she works real hard, and even her husband Hodges. she if they need, I know he's stepped in as well.
Yeah.
Because behind every good woman there's a good man. But speaking, I want to thank y'all for what y'all do, the services that y'all do,
Yeah.
and per the elderly affairs. That's one thing. If I have any differences with the sheriff's department on, they have an effective, very effective elderly affairs division, and they do take care of that business, because I've participated in several. The elderly that may be being abused or mistreated.
Yeah.
I can promise you, they take that seriously, and they usually handle real well on that matter. But maybe in the near foreseeable future, because I know the city at one point we were a source of some active donation too. Maybe we can get that back into to place in the near future. Well, basically it's up to the council. We just have to find the
Yeah.
revenue to do it.
I had no clue about elder abuse. I mean, I was just trying to work at the diner, and one day an old guy, one of our clients came to me and said, "Can you loan me a few bucks?" I gave him a couple of bucks, whatever. And, maybe more than that. So he walked about 4 or 5 feet from me. He turned around and came back. He said, "Sir, please don't tell anybody." So he said, "Tell who?" He said, "They will take it from me." So that was like the tip of the iceberg. I said, "Oh, there's something going on here." Mr. Nolan said one day he was staying late, just at 12:30, not late, and they shut down the eat portion, and this old lady and her daughter showed up. He said he had never seen somebody so hungry like they were. I'm telling you. You have to be tough-skinned, because they'll get to you every day.
Can I
Every day.
just interject a little bit?
Sure.
Y'all mentioned something about some of these old people get food stamps, and the young children are taking them and selling them. And then some of them taking the plate from the diner. I don't know if they still do it, Ms. Renita. I know you hand up on them. You hand up on them. They pray to you and they listen. And used to sell it. I don't know if they still doing it. Sell the plate, they bring it to the old people. Because somebody told me they were bringing my mother a plate of food. I said, well, no, they're not bringing my mother no food, because my mama, I cook for her every day, every day. And then I find out they were selling the plate of food. But I think you took care of that. But some of them do that. That's in the way of abusing the elderly, because these people, their little food stamp would carry them through the month. But the young one taking the food stamp from them and selling them. Somehow, I remember when we used to have welfare, food stamp and all that, and they used to check on the houses for everything. Something got to be checked on that, because they get food stamps and everything, and they shouldn't be hungry, and they eating at the diner. It shouldn't be. But something is going on, and I know y'all not God or a miracle worker. But
First of all, those that are eating there, we're not there to judge them.
I know.
They get their money. How do we know what's
That's
at
right.
their house,
Income.
behind their door? we're there to feed them, and that's what we're trying to do. And as for the homebound meals, when I first started there, they were doing 60 plates.
That's right.
And now we're down to 17.
That's-
A lot of them, I went to the houses and checked. We had some that were getting dead, food for dead people.
But I know y'all brought plate for, one I was taking care of, and they brought him a hot meal. It was so nice. I got to know the man that delivered the food. He was so nice. Getting free for dead.
Now, I was gonna recognize you. I saw you sitting out there, Juanita. Juanita's for those of you that don't know, Juanita Lewis is the director of the diner, and she does a tremendous job. And Richard Guidry is the chairman of the board, and they both are very passionate about what they do. They do a wonderful job. And you may not know, but we have city department heads and the fire department sometimes go about once a month and serve. You know, different ones of us will go depending on who's available. But I want to, appeal to the public. If there's anybody that wants to make donations, you certainly can. We'll accept donations of food or
Wild game, fish.
Anything.
anything, any food you want to donate, and also money donations, monetary
Right now, we're
donations.
We need a new oven, which we purchased it, but we have to find a way to put the money back, and we also need a new freezer. I think that's about $3,600. The oven was $6,000.
So,
And another thing, I can't forget to talk about the garage sale women. They're unbelievable. They on North Street. Clothes, if y'all have any clothes y'all wanna, or shoes or clothes that you wanna give away, you bring it to the diner and Mr. Nolan will bring it there. So, or they can drop it off over there on Tuesdays and Fridays. Just pennies on the dollar. It raised $17,000. $17,000 last fiscal year. So it's wonderful. And you'll discuss it, and then maybe as far as what we can do, and I'll give you. You want these papers? You want them? No?
that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Sweetie, do you have a comment?
In 2014, through September, our total meal count was 56,000 already. And then you have some months where they started, I forgot to tell you. I'll tell you all about the donuts and pastries, right? Did I tell you about that? Okay.
That's how we do breakfast every morning. That's one of the local donut shops that donate the donuts to us, but they don't sell. So we're able to provide breakfast for them. And Hardee's provides the biscuits.
And they went from 70 at breakfast in the morning.
From like 45 to about 75 a morning.
And during the summer, we got as high, she told me, it was 150 with all the kids coming eat donuts every day.
Yeah.
People are hungry, they're just hungry. And I'm right down here, I said, I don't know what would happen if St. Francis Diner closed the doors. I'll tell you what, it would be very, very bad, I think. But we're gonna fight to prevent that. We're not gonna let it happen.
Mr. Wright?
What do we need in the summertime? Do y'all get a lot of kids over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Because
'Cause
there's not no feeding places right in that area.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't they get with the food they feeding for the children and help some kind of way, maybe with y'all? Because the children definitely, I see them. Some kind of way.
They'll be there next week.
That's a
when
good
school is
area,
out.
because they go there.
Yeah.
I wish you would look into that, see if anything could be done. Because, boy, they be coming back and then people eat those donuts and the coffee, they go every morning. But the kids, Thank y'all very much.
I'm gonna tell you, a handful of donors, it's unbelievable how much money they give. They give big bucks. We had a check, we keep arguing about it.
I just have one other thought for y'all information purposes, being I duly have served two offices with as a councilman, school board, back council, but for some of the things that y'all talking about, that y'all have had to spend with the closures several schools. We have freezers, or because we pay the tax dollars
yeah.
on all those things. And donating to the church nonprofit status would be a good thing, so I'm just, for FYI,
Yeah.
maybe that'd be something y'all could look at, because we need to talk about a freezer.
Yeah.
I know most of them do cell phone. But just moving forward in the future, that's not a bad idea to maybe approach the school district, because they have the deepest tax base in Iberia Parish.
Yeah.
And surely, they may be approachable when it comes to all the good work that y'all do
Yeah.
at St. Francis Diner.
Yeah.
Just for y'all information.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I want to thank both of you for everything that you do for our community. I've worked with both of you at the diner, and I know how passionate you are about what you do. Y'all are true public servants. Thank you very much. And the city's here to help you, with whatever you need. And we'll have that discussion and see.
Yeah. I'll call you after I have my surgery.
Okay, good luck.
Okay,
Y'all
thank
have a-
you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.
Thank you both for taking the time to come here. The next agenda item is a proclamation, and then we'll have Ms. Jane Bro address the council. A proclamation for Small Business Saturday, which was founded in 2010 by American Express to help business owners with their most pressing need, getting more customers. 4 years later, shoppers continue to rally in support of small businesses on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Whereas the business districts in New Iberia are a critical part of our city's economy and cultural heritage. Whereas Small Business Saturday on November 29th represents a collaboration between the National Main Street Center, American Express, local Main Street communities, and small business owners to support the local businesses that create jobs, boost the economy, and preserve neighborhoods around the country. And whereas for every $100 spent at a local small business, $68 returns to the community. This holiday promotion highlights New Iberia and celebrates our small business community, which adds to the special character of our town. Now therefore, I, Hilda Day Curry, Mayor of the City of New Iberia, do hereby proclaim November 29th, 2014, Small Business Saturday in New Iberia, and I encourage citizens to visit and enjoy New Iberia's downtown, Main Street, and West End business districts, and support our local economy by shopping and dining locally. Thank you, and Ms. Bro can tell you a little bit more about
You all have your shopping bags.
Small Business Saturday.
As the proclamation states, in 2010, American Express founded Small Business Saturday to help businesses bring in customers. The day encourages people to shop at small businesses on Saturday after Thanksgiving. The single day has grown into a powerful movement, and more people are taking part than ever before. This year, the big day is November the 29th. And for our event, American Express furnished over 300 tote bags, welcome mats, banners, pins, balloons, decals, buttons, pet bandanas, and posters, which we've distributed to all of our merchants. The Downtown Business Association Incorporated, the New Iberia Main Street Program, the Greater Chamber of Commerce, and Shelley is here from the Chamber. They have their campaign as well. And the Iberia Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau encourage all local citizens to always support New Iberia small businesses, but especially on Saturday, November the 29th, on Shop Small Day and throughout the holiday season. For every $100 spent at local small businesses, $68 returns back to the community. Please support our local economy by shopping and dining locally. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bro. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do for the city. We appreciate it. The next agenda item is a resolution, Madam Clerk, Resolution 5A.
Resolution with respect to the municipality's continuing disclosure corporation initiative of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
And we have Mr. Jason Akers here to address the council he's our bonding attorney, and he's employed with Foley and Jadell. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. I'll be very brief with respect to the resolution and then answer any questions that you have. By way of background, anytime any political subdivision such as the city sells bonds of any significant size, they're done pursuant to an official statement. They're sold to investment banks like your Raymond James or your Stephens or larger banks like that. Those obligations carry with them a requirement to provide additional annual information, and the official statements also make a statement inside the official statement as to the compliance of the political subdivision with its obligations to provide those continuing disclosures. Now, prior to a couple of years ago, that was viewed very differently by the bond investing community, in the sense that it was very blanket statement that there are obligations outstanding, we have to provide continuing disclosure, and we will provide continuing disclosure reports. But in 2012, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, actually kind of shifted its focus and said you have to be much more specific when you're describing your past compliance. And you had bonds that were issued in 2010 that were prior to that shift in focus in 2012, which was not a problem until this year when the SEC said, we're going to show you how serious we really were. And not only was that rule in effect in 2012, but it's been in effect for every year past before that as well. And so they provided a program called the MCDC, Municipalities Continuing Disclosure Cooperation Initiative, that essentially is a quote-unquote get-out-of-jail-free card, to use a phrase, for municipalities such as yourselves. I want to be very clear that this is not something unique to the city of New Iberia. There are a number of political subdivisions throughout Louisiana and throughout the country that will be taking part in this program. The resolution authorizes the city treasurer, Kimberly, to actually go forward, filing the required paperwork with the SEC to participate in the program. And when you participate in the program, what you've done is essentially shelter the city from any enforcement action of the SEC in the future. And so, as I said, it's a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's not something that we necessarily ever intended for you to have to take part in. It's kind of caught the entire bond community by surprise. But I could list the names of the other issuers throughout the state of Louisiana, and it would surprise you how many there are. But let me just say, first and foremost, the state of Louisiana is most likely taking part of this program as well. So as I said, this is not something unique to the city, but it is something that you should take advantage of now. And like I said, I'll be glad to.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Lewis, second by Mr. Doyle. Is there any
No, Mr.
discussion? Oh, I'm
Swear.
sorry, Mr. Swear, I thought it was Mr. Doyle. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just got a question.
Sure,
It
Mr.
seemed like, with this resolution, it's mostly information that the city treasurer will be given, for this. It's nothing to do about the bonds or payment of bond, just information only, correct?
Correct. It had nothing to do, your bond obligations were never in jeopardy whatsoever. It had nothing to do with anything like that. It was just merely reporting. And it was failure to report. And actually, in conversation with Kimberly, we're going to continue to assist and make sure that we don't run into this problem in the future. And so you'll be front and center. It's the filing deadline is actually for the annual reports is 6 months following the conclusion of your fiscal year. So when the audit is completed, we'll be conversing with Kimberly and make sure that the reports get filed timely from now on, so that this never becomes an obligation in the future.
So this resolution would have to be renewed every year?
No, this is a one-time
One-time
thing.
thing?
One-time thing. It's just more of a ongoing, the continuing disclosure obligation for you remains because of the bonds that you have outstanding. And we're going to make sure that all the reports get filed properly from this point.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd ask you to vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for making the trip here
Oh.
tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm not going to sit down just yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I've got the next one as well. I
Oh, okay,
believe.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, the canvassing. Madam Clerk, resolution?
Providing the canvassing, the returns, and declaring the results of the special election held in the city of New Iberia, state of Louisiana, on Tuesday, November 4th, 2014, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein.
Do we have a motion?
So,
Motion by Mr. Doyle, second by Mr. Lewis. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to thank the people that went out and voted for it tonight, because we really needed that for our roads. But I think this sent us a message clear right there, because that was just a renewal tax right there, property tax, and we barely could pass it, much less trying to pass a sales tax on the people. So
Thank you,
if
Mr.
that
Swift.
doesn't ring loud and clear, it's something it never will be.
Is anyone else, Ms.
You
Mr.
know, I
Wright?
wanna say something pertaining to the voting. I think it's a shame that people sit home and let such important election pass by, sit home and do nothing. So when you sit home and do nothing, you get nothing. But we need that tax, and we need it real bad for our roads and sidewalks and other things. We need to pay close attention to what's going on in our city. And we need to come out and cast our vote, no matter for who or for what. Cast it, because it is very important. The voting is deteriorating. Looks like people forgetting all about voting today. And I mean, this was a very important tax, and as I told you, man, I really was afraid it was not paid. Thank God for that.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Akers, did you have any comments that, okay?
No, ma'am,
I-
only to answer questions to the
Okay,
extent
I'd
that
ask you to please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all. It's
Now,
good to see
thanks
you.
again for making the trip from Baton Rouge. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next agenda item, Madam Clerk, is a resolution.
Resolution awarding bid to Larry Dwarwong LLC for the Ormond Drainage Pump Station Project for the city of New Iberia.
Do we have a motion? Mr. Rack?
I so move.
second.
Second by Mr. Lewis. Is there any discussion?
At last.
Not the engineer.
At
Our
last.
engineers are here. We have Bo
He's
Desimo
here.
with Domingue and Zabo here, in case you have any questions. We were fortunate, the bid came in a little bit lower than what we had projected. The projection was $4,308,623, and it actually, the lowest bid came in at $4,227,500. So it came in a little bit lower than what we had anticipated, which was great. And Mr. Desimo is here if you have any questions. Mr. Doyle?
Well, I was glad to see that all the bids are pretty close. You know, it's not like one was $1 million lower.
No, that's a
So that
good
shows,
thing.
I think they all had the same.
Right, when you have closed
information.
bids, they understand the plans,
Right.
and they all bid on the same thing, and that's a very good thing.
Did you have a time on the project?
The contract time is 1 year on this project. That's gonna be from basically the notice to proceed, which is gonna be around the start of construction. We anticipate that being shortly after New Year's.
Y'all gonna,
So you were saying about end of 2015,
We think-
early 2016, the project should be complete,
Correct,
if it goes on schedule.
correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis?
Mayor, I'm gonna keep my comments simple. It shows when government works together. All people, ordinary citizens just wanna see good government work on their behalf. I know there's been an existing problem on that west end. I'm 51. I'm sure it was way back then. But when you put your heads together, leave out personalities, and come together for one common cause, one common good, it shows it just shows how well government works together. It won't be any more just a talk on the west end. It won't be just a conversation. We got the funding to get it done. And that's all. Some of those people that gone home to glory, that fought and worked hard to try to accomplish this, they must be smiling. They must be smiling. But this is a joyous day. This is a great evening when we can finally accept. I'm not gonna point out individuals because you get in trouble when you start that. I just will say, it's something people been wanting to see on the West End. And it's finally gonna be a reality. No more talk. It's gonna be actually happening in the near future. I hope I'm still here to take my shovel and turn some dirt over at this Ormco Canal Pump Station site. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I wanna, the parish did help us, we all did get together on the job. But if I could remember, the mayor and Almir said that they would take it and try to push it as much as they could, and I think they did. And I wanna say to the parish council, thank you. But I also wanna say, the bids came in very close. But if it take the higher bid to get the better project, I'm in favor of it. Because I don't wanna see a corroding pump that can't move after a year or so. I hope it's good quality. I'm not fighting, I'm just saying I'm hoping it's good quality. Take our time, make sure that the water gonna move out of the West End and not stay there for some reason. Cause that's, my bag was only, whether the pipe went under the Main Street, St. Peter and so forth, or whether we put a pump station, that the water moves out. You understand what I'm saying, young man?
Yes, ma'am.
That the water move out, and I hope I live to see this, cause I've been stressing, and as I said, and the paper quoted me, fine. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. I wanna see a reality, I wanna like to see work going on, moving on. It was 40+ years when I got in office, and I think when I step, it's gonna be in the late 20s, 20-some years that I've been up here, so it's no more 40 years. You know, and it was 40 years when my daddy was there, you know, it was a long time ago. But I'm saying, it's past time, but let's not talk about the past, let's move on to the future. I wanna be there, whether you have a seven for me or not, I'm gonna bring my old gold shovel, and I'm gonna dig, because the people deserve the service for their tax dollars that they pay for also. The parish and the city work together, but we're not working together as much as we should. We better get to stepping, because it's about the business of moving this city forward. And I pray and thank the parish, the city, the mayor and Almir, and all the city council member and parish council member for the work we done on that Ormco Act land. First, I'ma say, at last, and I can't sing. My whole life gonna be complete when that Ormco Canal gonna get done.
Well, it's our job to make sure that they build it to the plans and specifications, and we'll do that.
I like to joke a lot too, but the other thing was real. My singing was the joke.
Okay,
Thank you.
I think that we can't beat Mr. Rack's comments, so let's vote on machines. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
And
you.
we'll keep you abreast of the project. We'll let you know when it's time for the
Thank you.
groundbreaking.
Thank you. You better get there in a wheelchair.
Oh, I didn't see Maggie.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Daniels is back there with parish government. Thank you for being here, and we know that you've also been an advocate of this project, and we appreciate your support. And all the parish council, as
Yeah.
Mr. Rack stated earlier.
I didn't see it
Um,
either. I'm looking straight at the daylight.
Just for the public to know, I have written out, just for you to know where the money's coming from. We have 2.295 million from capital outlay. About 1.1 million was originally funds that that the parish had requested some time back before
Yeah.
I was in office. And when we got together, we decided that the city would take it on. We knew we could move it forward. The project really affects our residents in the city, even though the Ormco Canal is in the parish. So we took the project on. The city applied for a grant, which was called a MIP grant, a couple of years ago, and we received another 2 million for this project. In addition to that, the parish and the city had both committed to 250,000 each. And then just recently, we requested that I think possibly the city and the parish may have to put up another 250. But since it came out, since the bid since we came in under bid, there's a possibility that we won't need that additional funding from the city and the parish. So hopefully we won't. We'll be able to complete the project unless there's some unforeseen circumstances. Hopefully we'll be able to live within this bid. But we certainly appreciate the efforts of everyone. And Domingue and Zabo, as always, have been great to work
Yes.
with. And hopefully in January, we'll have shovels and break some ground.
Can I ask a question? Miss Daniel, is it all right if I address her?
Well, if she wants
Is it
to, I
all
was
right?
just gonna ask
one,
if
she
she
could
wanted
stay
to
there if she
say,
wants.
say anything.
I thought I had heard somewhere, I listened to the parish council, that they were supposed to borrow some of the Armico Branch Canal to start fix a bridge.
Can you approach?
Wait,
Did I hear wrong?
wait, just
Can
one
we
minute.
expand?
If the
Because one
council
of my
has no
constituents
objection,
called.
if the council has no objection, and if
Yeah.
Ms. Daniels has no objection,
Yeah.
I'll ask her to approach the podium. Does the council have any objection to Ms. Daniels approaching the podium? Ms. Daniels, would you like to address the council? I don't wanna put you on the spot. I don't wanna put you on the spot if you're not comfortable. Okay,
Sometimes being an elected official, you don't mind sitting in the background. Good afternoon, and I know for the record, I have to give my name for the record. My name is Maggie Daniels. I'm with the Iberia Parish Council, and I represent District Number 1, and I'm gonna do like Miss Peggy at last.
No. What I wanted to ask, I got 2 calls from 2 of my constituents. They overheard and they told me, don't quote me to that. I said, I'm gonna try to find out. They called for the parish council to mail me the minutes that they wanted to borrow the Armico, some of the Armico Branch Canal money to do a bridge or bridges.
No,
No, that's not.
that's incorrect.
Oh, okay. That's all I wanna know.
thank you. Mr. Lewis, you had something?
Go ahead,
I think what it was, Mr. Wright, I don't wanna get too far into that, but I think, we had, a representative that thought that he came in, he did nothing to get that money for Armco Canal. He did nothing. We worked hard
Okay.
to get that money. And I think 312, because I got a call from a business owner in that region, when I made the comment a few months ago, someone had made the suggestion the Armco Canal was a ditch to nowhere. I think that's where that came from. But that representative didn't do a thing to get that money. And surely, the parish and the city worked hard. The city took over the project,
Yes. That's right.
and we got that money. So that representative wasn't able to do anything 3212 because he wasn't taking the Armco Canal money
Okay.
that he wasn't even a part of to start it or to complete it. That's what that rumor was.
So I wasn't wrong.
No, but you
should
need
ask
to,
you.
that state representative, check that state representative.
Oh,
He
Thank
come-
you.
I want
Okay.
all of
Thank
you
you,
to know the
Andy.
money is secure.
No, I just heard.
The
I
documents have been signed with facilities planning, everything that, when we do this resolution tonight, everything is gonna be sent to facilities planning.
Okay, thank
Everything
you.
is in order, so you have no concerns.
Oh,
This
no,
project
no, I
is
don't.
moving forward.
Yes,
being
ma'am,
quiet.
thank you, ma'am.
I wanted to.
Ms. Daniels, I wanna thank you. I know you've been an advocate, you've been very patient also. Thank you for your support through this process.
Thank you all. If it wouldn't be for us making a group effort, this would not have succeeded. So time and patience and good government made this project work. And thank you all for everything that you all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Daniel. I'm
Thank
getting
you.
old, I'm moving slow.
I got my
You're a
shovel.
young body.
We
You're
voted.
moving.
The next agenda item is agenda item 5D, a resolution, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of acceptance from the for the wastewater system emergency generators project for the city of New Iberia.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Doyle. Is there any discussion? Yes,
Mayor,
sir.
wasn't it grant money?
It was grant
Oh,
money.
grant money.
FEMA and DEQ.
Okay.
Vince is here if you have any questions.
No, it was from FEMA and DEQ?
FEMA and DEQ.
Thank you.
FEMA, most of it was FEMA, the majority of it. It's from our hazard mitigation plan. We applied for we had $500,000 for generators for the wastewater department.
Thank you.
And then we're just closing it out. Any other questions? Okay, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Mr. Palumbo, thank you. The next agenda item is a resolution, agenda item 5E.
Resolution requesting financial assistance from the state of Louisiana under the fiscal year 2014-2015 Local Government Assistance Program.
We need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lewis,
Lewis.
second by Mr. Doyle. And just for your information, we apply for this grant, it's a state grant every year. Last year, wastewater received the grant, we rotated. The year before that, Public Works received it. It's $35,000 normally. And last year, wastewater purchased 2 small pickup trucks, and the Park and Recreation Department is hoping to purchase the same, 2 small pickup trucks. So,
Maybe
any
they can-
questions?
They can replace that red truck that disappeared.
God. Please vote your machines. Motion carries.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. The next agenda item is 5F. Madam Clerk, a resolution.
Resolution by the New Iberia City Council supporting an ordinance by Iberia Parish Government to reduce the speed limit on Daspit Road, Parish Road 604, from 35 miles to 25 miles, from Louisiana 677, Sugar Mill Road to Troy Road, Parish Road 606. This is by Councilmember Natalie Roback.
Motion by Ms. Roback, second by Mr. Rack. Is there any discussion? I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just that they, I cannot think of the name of the neighborhood right now. Summerfield, has done what I'm assuming to be their final phase, 'cause it looks like this is the end, and the houses are actually physically right on Tasker Road, facing the road. So between the school, the duplex coming up on the side of the school, the grocery store, and these houses that are gonna be driving off and on, it's gonna be starter homes, so I predict, they're gonna be kids, and I've already had some complaints, so I got with parish government, and, we were kinda in agreement to reduce it in that area where it's becoming, just, it's full of houses, so that's the only reason. That's what we're going for, and I ask for your support, and that's it.
Is there any objection to this resolution? No objection, motion carries. The next agenda item is a budget amendment, and we have Ms. Kimberly, who has waited so patiently back there. Segura?
She put it first.
Budget adjustment. I still have something else
Oh.
to worry about tonight. The budget adjustment that was included in your packet is just kind of a summary from when the council adopted the budget at the last meeting. There was a comment made about reserving the fund balance with respect to the 2% that was reduced out of the budget from its adoption. So basically, this is what this adjustment will do. Basically, in general fund, we'll have $57,000 reserved and set aside for salaries and benefits. The next 2 boxes are Parks and Public Works. When the adjustment was made, there was no direction given with respect to reducing the amounts that we actually transfer into those funds from the general fund. So we're reducing that amount because that amount is that amount represents the 2% that is not going to be used up in those funds. So we'll keep that money in general fund and reserve that. That's included in the $57,000 that we're reserving in the general fund. And then on the next page, there's approximately $2,500 in the Section 8 fund that we'll reserve for salaries and benefits, and approximately $35,000 in the sewer fund, the wastewater fund, so that amount will be set aside for salaries and benefits. So in all, the total amount of the reduction from the 4% to the 2%, it approximated about $95,000.
That's going back in the general fund.
Actually, general fund's only gonna have $57,000 of that, and the other amounts are gonna stay in those other funds. So across 3 funds, it'll be a combination of $95,000.
Extra something?
Mr. Doyle?
Kimberly, it's about the, us ending our budget for 2014.
Okay.
and you gave us our breakdown for the 11 months.
Okay.
I think the next month, I guess we'll have the final, how we ended up in 2014, right?
Actually, year end is a little bit more detailed
Okay.
than what a normal month is. Like right now, we're getting ready to pay the bills on the 20th of November, and that's typically when I kind of close out that prior month. But because October is our year end, more than likely, we're not gonna actually physically like close our books till sometime probably in early January.
And then when you gave our taxes for the year, it looks like it's just broke even. And the way you
Basically.
projected the budget last year, I think you projected a little less than break even. So
Correct.
we'll probably have some difference in our budget, correct? That we have to make to see how the year ended in 2014?
Correct. With respect to the sales taxes, because I projected a decline and we actually about broke even, we will have more tax money, which means that our fund balance will be, be slightly higher. It's not,
No.
a tremendous amount across all funds.
So that will
but
make
it'll be
another
a little
budget
bit.
amendment?
No, we
No.
won't be making any more amendments to fiscal 14.
No, but would that affect our 2015 budget?
I think right now it's probably, with respect to taxes, it's probably still too early to
Okay.
make any adjustments. I would leave it where we are, which would, we're on the more conservative side because we did project low. And then if it is higher, so be it, that would be nice. And if it's not, we'd have to come back and adjust.
So you think by January, end of January, we might have how we ended up in 14?
Actually, because we don't, our franchise fees, we get those quarterly. So the quarter that ends December the 31st, we don't get that check until, some of them pay around January 15th. Some of them don't pay us until around February. So like to do all the full accruals, actually what I do is I close the books, I give the numbers to the auditors, and then I continue to make adjustments, and I give them those adjustments. So we won't have the final numbers until probably sometime in February, after all those franchise fees are received.
And talking about franchise, I'm just gonna bring it up, since Clico got bought out, with our franchise agreement has nothing to do with a company sales out?
Nothing changes.
Nothing, okay.
Everything remains the same.
I
All
didn't
the
know we
services,
were negotiating
nothing
anything.
changes.
Okay, thank you. I knew it, I just wanted to ask that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We need a motion to accept the budget amendment. Motion by Mr. Doyle. Second by Mr. Lewis. Please vote your machines. Just a few, motion carries unanimously. A few quick announcements. The next council meeting is December the 2nd. The next neighborhood watch meeting for District 4, Mr. Merrill, will be November 20th, 6 p.m. at the Slyman. City offices will be closed on November 27th and 28th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday, and I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Early voting begins on November 22nd and continues through November 29th. Sound of the Seasons is a symphony in Sunday on November 30th at St. Peter's Church. And I think that's it. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Swear.